So with marriage conflict, many of you have downloaded my boundaries sheet, but now it's time to learn how to communicate your boundaries. And so when you go to, especially a corn addict or someone and you're trying to heal with infidelity, there are things that have been broken in the marriage long before all of this has come to light. And communicating how to explain to them what it is that you're feeling, the boundaries that you are making, and for them also to communicate things is so important because both of you are in pain. And the pain has been there for a long time. Even if you don't realize that the pain has been there a long time. So I'm going to give you an incredible tool and resource that is in my resource center for you to download. I do charge a little bit for it because I do create these tools, but this is going to be a game changer, I promise you, in your marriage. So number one, let's talk about the trigger point. So this is like a continuous conflict in your marriage. For my husband and I, I'm just going to use our example. It was actually doing the dishes or anything to do with cleaning, but essentially doing the dishes. So my husband, I would tell him, I need you to do the dishes, and he would not finish it. I was super immaculate. I'm a perfectionist. I'd scrub around the sink, sometimes with a toothbrush, put all those dishes in the dishwasher and start it from, so I was really meticulous on how I did the dishes. I wanted things scrubbed off, all the food scraped off, right? And so when he would do the dishes, I felt like he was being lazy because the dishes were not all the way done. There were usually a couple cups that were left out that he hadn't put in the dishwasher, and it would irritate me. Like, why didn't all the dishes get done? So my reaction to this was usually like, you know what, screw it. I'm going to do the dishes myself. And so I would get angry and I would start banging pots and pans around. I'd start clanging things. I would create tension in the home because I was so angry about the situation. His reaction would usually be to be a recluse, go like a turtle into his shell, walk out of the room and go into our bedroom because he could feel the tension and the anger that I was causing. And so this was a vicious, vicious cycle in our marriage, which would end up in conflict where I was sometimes yelling, we were having arguments, and it would go into things like, you don't do anything around here. You never listen. You never do the dishes. And he was like, what are you talking about? I do so much around the house. You never appreciate anything that I do. I work so hard for this family, but it was causing this horrible spin cycle in our relationship. So I'm going to teach you how to resolve this instead of staying in this spin cycle. So the first thing to do is the emotional pain. What is the emotional pain from him not doing the dishes? And so for me, I have all these words for you to choose from, emotional pain words. So from here, I would say, well, I felt abandoned. I felt like you don't care. I feel like I'm the maid. I feel alone in this. I feel like you're not listening to me, right? And so it makes me angry. So down here, what inner child wound does that bring up for me? And I had a situation where I worked for a quote unquote ministry for an entire year. And I would work from dusk till dawn, practically not getting paid, cleaning hotel rooms, having to scrub things and clean things. And then I also was raised by a father who was very much about cleaning things. And I would clean the entire floor and he would come back and find a speck on the ground and say, you didn't clean it well enough, go back and redo the whole job. So I always felt like when I did do a good job, there was a lot of affirmation in there. There was a lot of love. And so I learned at a very young age that in order to have love, in order to be appreciated, in order to have success or to be proud, I always had to do a job well done. And anything opposite of that was laziness, was not good, was, someone not showing me love. And so how did that emotion actually make me feel? It actually made me feel like I was always going to be the maid and that he was never going to care about me. But over here, his emotional pain when he filled this out was, I feel attacked. I feel like you don't care about the things that I do around the home. I feel like I'm never going to be good enough. And that lie, I never am going to be good enough, is actually what spiraled my husband into affairs and corn addiction. Because what's the point? What's the point in trying if I'm never going to be validated, if I'm never going to have reassurance? Now, those were things he had to work on opposite in therapy, but at least we were able to identify that. And so his inner child wound was when he was a child, he was sometimes woken up in the middle of the night to clean and scrub the floor with a toothbrush because he didn't do the job completely, or all day doing chores. And so he learned at a very young age as a child, if I do the dishes and do a good job, I'm just going to be given another job and another job and another job. So he learned at a very young age, if I only do something halfway and I'm told constantly to go back and finish that job, I will not have to be essentially micromanaged or abused to continue cleaning all day and not be able to play. And so what emotion does this actually make me feel? It makes me feel like I'm worthless, I'm not good enough, and nothing I do is ever going to be good enough. So down here, instead of going back up here to spiraling in conflict, we're going to go to what we call a point of grace. So we are able to identify the trigger point, this is making me feel, and what I actually need help with, and come to a compromise and a resolution. So by me empathizing with that emotional pain and him empathizing with my emotional pain, and us being able to communicate, hey, when you don't do the dishes, I actually feel abandoned. Can you stop what you're doing and help me with the dishes? Can you see that by not doing this the way I would like, that it's hurting me? And he can come back and say, well, can you see that I'm trying and I'm doing the best I can and I feel like it's never good enough? Can you accept that I am really, truly trying and I do want to do a good job with the dishes. I want to make you happy, but we need to come to a compromise and a solution here. So whatever that would be in your relationship. And so now our resolution with this is, if the dishes are out there, I will clean them, I will do it. And if you see the dishes out there, you will clean it, you will do it, without us having to communicate that together, because we empathize the trauma that is associated with this trigger point. So if you want this tool, you can get it in my bio and work on it with your partner. It has helped us tremendously to communicate in a calm and secure way by understanding each other and where our inner child trauma is coming from. And if you need help with identifying all these things, you can book a call with us.